History was made at the 2025 Mike Aulby Nevada Classic. We saw easily the greatest ever roll-off in PBA history, and not just because it was also the longest ever roll-off. We're going to break down exactly what happened and relive this incredible match. For those of you who watched this live, I can imagine you were all glued to your screens. Just before we get onto the roll-off, we'll quickly look at what happened during the matches before. It was Jesper Svensson and Alec Keplinger starting things off in match number 1, and the theme of this match was Jesper Svensson's bad carry. This is something that has plagued him on TV for the last couple of years, and I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's partly to do with the IQ 78 urethane that he now pretty much uses all the time, as every time he uses it on TV, he seems to get these really bad breaks. But maybe it's just things not working out for him when he gets on the telecasts. He did have the first 3 strikes, but then almost left the 7-10 in frame 4, but a messenger took out the 7-pin. He then went on to leave a 8-pin, the 3-6-7 which he spared, and the final nail in the coffin was this stone 9-pin in the 9th frame. It was a different story for Keplinger, who bowled really well, but got some good breaks, including 2 trip 4-pins. He finished with a 257 to Jesper's 214, but to be honest, there wasn't much between the two players, and Jesper's bad breaks were the deciding factor. Match 2 saw Keplinger face 20-year-old Ethan Fiore, who was making his first ever show. After an open frame in the first, he made a quick ball change to the Evoke Hysteria and got locked in pretty quickly. Keplinger continued where he left off in match 1, and after 9 frames it was all tied. Ethan had a chance to shut out Keplinger if he doubled in the 10th, but went strike 9 spare to force Keplinger to get all 3 strikes to advance. But it was a 10-pin on his first shot, and Keplinger would be eliminated. It's the second show he's made this season, and on both occasions he has bowled very well. It's only a matter of time before he gets a good run on a telecast. The final score was 247 to 226, but now Ethan had a real challenge on his hands, taking on the best bowler on the planet, EJ Tackett. Both players were using the Evoke Hysteria, and Ethan started with the front 4 and then left a 10-pin. EJ went strike, 9 spare, 3 in a row, and then a 7-pin. The first thing I noticed is that EJ has a lot more recovery room and can attack the ball a lot more, whereas Ethan Fiore has to be more mindful of his speed, and that's because he's a lot deeper than Tackett. But it is working for him, as he struck in the 8th and 9th to take a 20-pin lead. EJ was clutch here and struck out for a 238 to put the pressure on, as Ethan now had to strike. This one went light and was perhaps a little bit unlucky not to carry the 7-pin, but we've seen this when the players have gone light on this shot. They've not always had the carry. He did make the spare and now needed a strike to force a roll-off. And the 20-year-old stepped up and got the strike he needed, and now this is where the fun really started. It was a 1-ball roll-off, and as the higher seed, EJ selected to start the roll-off and chose to start on the left lane. Now what we saw here was simply amazing from both players. They just kept striking and striking and striking. The roll-off just went on, and both players were making really good shots. We got to the 6th shot in the roll-off, and it looked like it might finally be over after Ethan put this shot a lot wider, but got a great break, tripping out the 2-pin. EJ struck for a 7th time, and Ethan's next shot was light and he left the 7-pin. This was quite unlucky, to be honest. It wasn't a terrible shot, but it just laboured slightly and went light. All I can say is what a performance from both players, but the youngster did so well to match EJ during the roll-off. It's the longest ever PBA roll-off. I've done a video before about the previous longest ever roll-off, which featured Josh Blanchard and Tom Smallwood at the 2013 Scorpion Championship. Their roll-off lasted for 5 shots. Obviously this one went to 7, but it's not just the fact that it's the longest roll-off that makes this the greatest of all time. It's the fact that both players combined for 13 consecutive strikes. Normally there'd be a couple of shots where both players get a 9, but to be honest, I don't think we'll ever see a roll-off like this one on a PBA telecast. We now had a rematch of the 2025 US Open, as the 1 seed Andrew Anderson took on EJ Tackett. EJ came out on top last time, so Anderson was looking for some revenge and was trying to win his first singles title since 2018. He got off to a hot start with the front 5, and then EJ threw his worst shot of the day in the 5th, leaving the 1-2-8-10 for an open frame, and he was now down by 46 pins. Anderson extended his lead to 56 with another strike and then left a 10 pin. He thought he'd missed this, but he did spare it. In the 7th frame, EJ did the exact same thing on the right lane and missed way right, this time leaving the 1-2-6-10. It was another open frame and the match was now over. EJ just didn't make enough good shots in the title match. Given his recent run of form, it feels like he's superhuman and will win every telecast he's on, but of course, things don't always go right even for the best in the game. Regardless of that though, Anderson played a great game coming in as the 1 seed, and there's no doubt he deserved to win this one. As I mentioned, it's his first singles title since 2018, and he's been knocking on the door for a little while now, so it was great to see him put in this fantastic performance to take home the title. Well, what a telecast that was. The insane roll-off was clearly the highlight, and it really sets the stage for the rest of the World Series of Bowling events that are being televised during the next week. I'll be back with more breakdown videos for the animal pattern events. The first one is the Scorpion Championship, and I'd just like to thank you all for watching this video, and if you have enjoyed what you've seen, I'd really appreciate it if you would click the subscribe button below. That's going to do it from me for today, and as always, thank you bowling fans, and see you all next time.
Tackett delivery in the roll-off. Yes! Needs it for another roll-off. Tackett, second ball, roll-off. You better believe it. Locked in, right lane. Needs the strike again. Let's keep going, guys. Yeah. Wow. Tackett has been a Terminator. Continues the run. And again, the pressure on the youngster. Can he do it for a 3rd time? Down goes number 10, late Timber. Can this great champion do it again? For a 4th time. He's a machine.
We already knew that, I think.
Yeah. Can he do it again? Just keep on going, guys. Wants to reach his limit for a 5th time. Yes! Wow! He can't do it again, can he? Sure he can. Looking for a 6th. Has another one. Trying to match Tackett again. Got a break. PBA Tour history. 7th for Tackett. Does it again. A 7th?